Whoa! Hey everybody, welcome to Mack Flash Trivia. My name is Francois and I'll be your host for the next little bit. This is Seriously Trivia Live. Hello and welcome everybody to this beautiful Friday night. Thank you so much for being here at the end of another wonderful week. And God, it was a busy one. We had a lot of fun, definitely tons of games in the house this week. Whether it was online or live, oot and a boot, we were in the Mack Flash sort of a spirit. It's good to be here back with you guys for another game of Seriously Trivia. Hopefully you are geared up and ready to go. By which I mean you should probably have in your possession something to write on and or with. Not and or. Or would be pretty useless if you had just the board or just the paper but no pens. So make sure you have both to write with to write down your answers. We're going to be playing 2 rounds tonight, each of them with 10 categories of 3 questions each. You guys are going to be picking these categories in the chat and letting me know. I will write them down on my trusty whiteboard, and then we will play them in that order, in the order that you determine. Every time you do pick those categories in them, there will be 3 questions. You'll get 20 to 25 seconds each to answer them all. Make sure you are discreet. Feel free to work as a team as well, but do not share your answers in the chat or the comments. Then, immediately after that, it is answer time. That's right, I'll be showing you the answer immediately after the round. We'll be able to mark our boards or sheets and share your score in the chat with everybody else, keeping a tally, of course, of your ongoing score for all night so that you can share with us how great you are at the end of the night. Nice and simple, that's how we're gonna do it. I've got 10 categories coming at you. There's a bunch of people in here in the chat. We're talking about how windy last night was at Rock and Roll Bingo. It was a little exciting. It was almost like trying to play a game of cards, for example, under 7 helicopters trying to land at the same time. That's pretty much the impact that it was. But everyone stuck around and we had a great time. It was amazing. Maybe the wrong time to have paper, but whatever. You know, we do what we do. All right, let's play some Seriously Trivia. Let's take a look at this. I'm pretending like you don't know. Hey, everybody. Cheers. I'm going to be taking a sip because I'm very thirsty now after all that talking. So cheers to you guys, everybody. All right, label out. That's right. Let's take a look at these. Let's take a look at these categories right here. Life on the Chain Gang coming in at number 1. Of course it does. It's always the first one. We've got TVMD. We've got Thunder Cloyds. We've got the songs in the key of. We got Sing-a-Nims coming at us this week. We got a bit of quiz on. We got initial reaction. Shout out. We've got It's Gotta Be. And we've got COVID covers. COVID covers. How topical. It's coming up right now on the screen and I'm taking a look at them, and of course we're going to be starting with songs because it's almost become a tradition now. We got TV, then we got the libs. Oh man. And then we've got ourselves some Sing-a-Nims. Sing-a-Nims, I'm going to write that down right here. And then after that we got the Lloyds. And then after that we've got TVMD, then we got Time. And then we've got It's Gotta Be. Perfect. And I'll keep writing those down after we start because, of course, me writing stuff down, as I always say, not very entertaining. Let's take a look at your songs in the key of. How's everybody doing? You guys good? I feel like we just rushed into this. It's very impersonal right now. I'm going to shake that off. I'm going to shake it off. Shake it off. Copyright. Copyright. All right, let's go. Now I'm ready to go. I've got it now. I feel pretty confident in this. Okay, so I've got a new setup here in the studio and the screens aren't in the same place. So if you see my eyes going all shifty, it's because I don't know where to look. All right, songs in the key of orders. These are all questions about songs that tell you what to do. They are imperative. Let's take a look at these 3 questions where the songs tell you what to do. Number 1, what 2014 Sam Smith song won the Grammy for Best Pop Solo Performance? Number 2, in Songs in the Key of Orders, what did Poison want you to do at the drive-in in the old man's Ford behind the bushes till I'm screaming for more? And number 3, what Michael Jackson song through its lyrics and music video brought attention to gangs and street violence and the need for it to stop? And those are your songs in the key of orders, all songs that are imperative in their tense, meaning they're telling you exactly what to do. Lock in those answers because it is time to take a look at mine and see if they match up. This is what I wanted to see for the first one. We're talking about Sam Smith's Stay With Me. Stay With Me by Sam Smith. At number 2, we were talking about Talk Dirty to Me. Which is a great thing to do after you stay with me. Talk dirty to me. And then finally, Beat It. That's right. Yeah, get out. After that, we're done. We're done now. It's over. You stayed. You talked dirty. I'm finished. It was a great 2 minutes. Now beat it. Get out of here. Get out of here. Give yourself a point for each of those. We'll see you back at the front. Share your score in the chat, of course, as everybody likes to do. We've got songs in the bag, and we've got some 3s and 2s coming up in the chat. I wonder which ones. 2.333 out of 3 for the Société de Sneaky Sneak, because prorated by word in the answer that they got correct. I don't know. You know, it's so nerdy. I want to allow it. That's basically how I feel about that. Let's take a look at TVMD, your next category coming up right now. TVMD is something that came to mind because last week I believe I did television, another career, and this time I was like, hey, I'm going to. Oh, it was TV politicians last week. So this week I was like, television doctors has always been a fun one. Television medical professionals coming at you right now. 3 questions about television medical professionals, and it starts with number 1. Welders. TV welders. Dave, I'll try real hard. Give the full name of the doctor played by DeForest Kelley in the original Star Trek television series. Number 2. What is the name of the actor who portrays Dr. John Watson alongside Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock? That question definitely relieving the itch of a lot of our players. You're welcome. We got number 3 coming up, television MD, TV doctors. Which character from MASH was spun off into his own series from 1979 to 1986, albeit played by a different actor? And there you go, that's your television doctors, TVMD, and not one question about House. How about that? How about that? Manages to pull it off. right? There's so many shows that I wanted to just resort to because, or revert to, because I always use them. But no, not this time. Let's take a look at the answers that I did actually use this time. We were talking about Dr. Leonard McCoy, number 1 in the Star Trek series. Not number 1, meaning in number 1 question, and in the original, the first Dr. Leonard McCoy. Number 2, we had Martin Freeman from Benedict Cumberbatch's version of Sherlock Holmes, playing, of course, Dr. Watson in this case. And in last but not least, Trapper John MD. Trapper John in the first 3 seasons of MASH was one of the main characters. Then he was replaced by BJ Honeycutt, quit the show, and then later on they took the character and brought him back in its own incarnation, Trapper John MD. That's right, I didn't use any Grey's Anatomy, no Scrubs, no House. I think that deserves a pat on the back. I'm just gonna get TVMD out of here. Get out of here, TVMD. Thank you. And we've got our next one coming up as your scores are going through here. The camera's so clear, right? We got a 3 out of 3, 3 out of 3, some 2s over here, a couple of 0s. Oh yeah, no ER, no Saint Elsewhere, no Chicago Hope. Chicago Hope. Yeah, and Star Trek Trivia saves the day exactly for the person I intended it. A little Star Trek trivia going out to Société de la Sneaky Sneak. All right, let's take a look at your next category coming up right now. It's synonyms. We're going back to music. This fast, Francois? Well, yes, that's how the game's designed. It's all random. We got synonyms coming up right now. Synonyms is an entire category, just like we have bantonyms normally, where I give you the opposite of every word, and you have to look for that opposite and give me the actual name of the real band. Here, it's synonyms. So what I've done is I've taken a band name, and I found a synonym for each word in that name, and literally just translated it over with synonyms. All you got to do is translate it back and tell me what bands I am referring to. And remember, these are not antonyms this time. They are synonyms. So if you're ready, it goes with this. Azure Mollusk Sect. Number 2, find the synonym of each of these words to discover an existing band name. Monarchs of the Rock Era. And number 3 coming at you right now. Well, I mean, like soon. Like now. Single orientation. And that's synonyms for you. All you had to do was find synonyms of each word in these phrases to find an existing band name. I can't believe I didn't even point out the example that was there, but we had firearms and flowers, Guns N' Roses. Of course, loose synonyms, so hopefully you were able to interpret what it is that I was looking for. And it goes like this. These are the ones I wanted to see. Number 1, we had Blue Oyster Cult, or Azure Mollusk Sect, which is better than Mollusk Sex, which apparently you can't talk about on TV. So I'm going to move on now. We've got the Monarchs of the Rock Era, or the Queens of the Stone Age, coming in at number 2. And for number 3, a single orientation, or One Direction coming at you. That's 1, 2, and 3 coming at you right here, and a lot of threes happening in the group. I love to see that. Thank you to our sponsors, Littlefoot Foods, for being behind us again this month. They are a main sponsor, and you can check out all the stuff that's going on with their food services, whether it's delivery or pickup or in what store you can find it. Make sure you do visit their Facebook page at Littlefoot Foods, or you can visit littlefootfoods.com for all of the details on how you can procure yourself some delicious pierogies. I found a bag in my freezer while reorganizing, and needless to say, I had a delicious dinner. It was most delicious. As a matter of fact, I think I have a snack left for Games Lounge later. Don't be surprised if you catch me eating pierogies in there. Let's move it right along with your next game coming up right now. It is time for Thundercloids, or our little bit of a Ditloid category happening right now. Got some pretty good. We had some pretty good stuff happening over here. Shout at the devil. We're shouting at the devil. That's what we're doing in the chat. I was, that should teach me never to check in the middle of a category. Okay, so these are Ditloids right here. What we're going to be doing is 3 Ditloid puzzles. Ditloids are abbreviations or acronyms of common expressions, sayings, or statements of fact. For example, if I give you the category measurement in the example here, and I say 12 equals I in a F, you would say 12 equals inches in a foot. I've got 3 of those coming up with their given categories. See if you can solve these Ditloids for 1 point each. Number 2, and AB, I totally got your Tears for Fears reference there. Let's take a look at number 2 in Thundercloids. Math, 96 equals ETT. And finally, coming in at number 3, literature. 3 equals W from the G in the B. And those are your Ditloids for the week. Those are so good, I can't even remember what that last one is. Good thing I've got a screen to give me all of the answers and give you the answers at the same time. Let's take a look to see if you were able to figure those out. Number 1, we're talking about 0 equals degrees of latitude at the equator. Okay, geography. Number 2, we had 96 equals 8 times 12. Bit of a tricky one right there, but hopefully you were able to figure that out. And last but not least, in the category of literature, 3 wishes from the genie in the bottle. Give yourself a point for each of those. Degrees of latitude at the equator, 8 times 12, and wishes from the genie in the bottle. And that's your Ditloids for this week. I couldn't even remember what that last one was, the wishes from the genie in the bottle, to the point where I got nervous and thought maybe I made a mistake. Coming up next, we've got your well, somebody had said time. We've got It's Gotta Be is your next category coming up right now. And these answers to these questions will all begin with the letter B. Simple enough. 3 different questions coming at you right now. All the answers start with B. I won't say it again. I'll just read these questions. A scavenging bird. Also, an old cantankerous person. Number 2, style of movies which emerged in the 1970s and were described as supercharged, bad-talking, highly romanticized melodramas about Harlem superstuds. And finally, this word can mean an enthusiastic supporter, a device for increasing force or even height, and a reinforcing immunization. And that's it for It's Gotta Be. 3 answers that start with the letter B should be on your board or paper. Let's take a look at these answers and see if they match with mine. First one, we had a buzzard. That's right, a scavenging bird or a cantankerous old person. Oh, that old buzzard over there. Number 2, starting with B, we had blaxploitation films. The definition is way longer, but of course, this one encapsulated exactly what I was looking to say. And finally, number 3, starting with B, we have booster. A booster seat, maybe a turbo boost in your car, or a booster. We had, of course, the booster shot right there, or somebody who sponsors you, or a booster, a financial booster. Give yourself a point for each of those that you got correct. Let us know what you got out of 3. A lot of 3 out of 3s coming up right there. I'd like to see that. And we also have a good explanation as to why the word time was there. Thank you for clearing that up. It would have bugged me all night. All night. All night long. All night. All night. All night long. All night. We're here all night long. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now. We're here right now. It's Seriously Trivia. We have 5 games done. We got 5 more games coming up. After that, a short break. 10 more categories coming at you. Bit of a longer break, 10 o'clock. Join us in the Games Lounge, where we're mixing things up a little bit after last week's impromptu events. Gave us a great idea. If you are going to be in the Games Lounge, bring with you a card from your favorite board game, or any board game. And if you understand the format of the show, you understand what kind of card you should be bringing. If you do bring a card, there will be a round at the end we call the Robes Lounge round, where you will be able to be the person asking the questions through the chat, and we'll be posting your questions up, and that'll be the final round. The Robes Lounge round. That was easier to say the first time. But yeah, so if you are joining us after this in the Games Lounge, I'll post the link and make sure you bring a card, and you might be picked to ask a question, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, depending on if I can remember how to properly do this new method. Let's move on with our next category right now. It is, we had It's Gotta Be B, so now we are heading down to COVID covers. COVID covers being your picture round of the night. I like this. I found this by accident, and I thought it was really cool. It is important to remain safe these days. Yesterday we did have an event in public, and I want to reassure everyone that everything was taken into consideration. The tables are far apart. No one was allowed to mingle. I took care of the walking around part, and we were all outdoors, and everything was safe. The important part is to say, the social distancing is still important. So these albums here, they don't comply. They don't comply with the social distancing. So some artists went and fixed them. What I want you to do, we're going to do this double points because some of them are pretty obvious. So I think we're going to get high points anyway. We're going to give you name the band and the album for these retooled album cover. You get a before and after as well. So it should be a fun and easy. Let's take a look. Number one. Now that's smarter. Smarter, guys. Name the artist and the album. A little better. A little better. I mean, safer in one way, definitely unsafe in other ways. Always use the crosswalk. Important lesson here. For that last one, how far apart would they have to be for them to be no longer considered a band? I'm just asking, it's just a question. Anyway, it's unrelated. Let's take a look at these 5 answers. We were looking for the name of the band and the name of the album for each of those album covers that have been fixed to include social distancing rules. Good for them. Good for them. Yes. Let's keep moving. We got 5 of them coming up, 2 points each. The answers go like this. Number 1, we had Simon and Garfunkel, and the album is called Bookends. Bookends, right there. Number 2, we've got Queen, the album called Queen 2. It was Queen 2. At number 3, we had The Essential Run DMC, if you couldn't tell, by Run DMC. And number 4, we had Abbey Road by The Beatles, classic album. And at number 5, it was U2 and The Joshua Tree. Give yourself a point for each of the details, which means this round is out of 10 points. If you were able to get all 10, I am very, very proud of you. Have another Kool-Aid Jammer. We got Life on the Chain Gang quiz on, initial reaction and shout out left. People have already called out initial reaction and shout out. After that, we'll have to see if we end on quiz on or if we finish it off with Life on the Chain Gang. I see some pretty decent scores showing up in the chat. We got some 8s, some 6s and 7s, and we got a 10 over here. Not surprised with AB on the COVID Conman. That should have been a 10. In fact, there's probably a way where it's a 12 out of 10 because I probably, there's probably some detail in there that you're aware of that we're not, which I absolutely love. We got another 10 out of 10 with the Naughty Hookers. Good job on that one. And see, there you go, AB. I own all of those on vinyl. There you have it. And yeah, I gave you the bands just because I wanted you to have points. I was like, hey, you know, if you know the bands, if you know the bands, then go ahead, name them, and you'll get the points for those as well. It's time for initial reaction, everybody. Time to do a little bit of high-scoring game, if you will. Initial reaction, 9 possible points going to your team if you're able to figure out all of these. In each box, I will give you a trio of people that share a set of initials. What I'm going to do is give you descriptions of these people, and you have to figure out who they are. The other trick is that I will not give you their initials. You'll have to figure out by one of the hints, which will probably be obvious enough to you to know exactly who that is. And using their initials, you can figure out the other 2. We're going to do that 3 times, and that means you're going to get 9 possible points going to your team for this round. Let's take a look at your first initial reaction. Hosts an eponymous late night show. The next one is a Beat Generation pioneer novelist. And number 3 is the original Jackass. These 3 share a set of initials. Who are they? Name them all. Number 2, in initial reaction, different set of initials in this box, but all 3 of them share it. Girlfriend and complicated singer. Murder, she wrote. Photographer to the stars. And finally, number 3. These 3 share a set of initials as well. One is a famous comics creator. One is a former Even Stevens actor. And the other is a classic Hollywood Italian actress. That's my little dance. It's called my Give You a Little More Time dance to figure out the 9 people on your page and see if you're able to fill in those blanks, those ones that you weren't exactly sure. Well, in trios, they each shared a set of initials. Let's see if you're able to figure out who these 9 people were. Number 1, sharing the initials JK. We had Jimmy Kimmel hosting an eponymous late night show, the Jimmy Kimmel Live. Whoa, that was harder to say. We have Jack Kerouac, who is an American novelist of French-Canadian background. I did not know that. I didn't know that. And the original Jackass, in quotation marks, Johnny Knoxville. At number 2, we have Avril Lavigne, a complicated singer. Angela Lansbury is who wrote Murder. That was weird to say. And Annie Leibovitz, of course, known for photographing, photographing. But speaking of French Canadians, hey, right? Huh? Right? Photographing celebrities, of course, and doing a great job at it. Number 3, we have Stan Lee. Mr. Man Shia LaBeouf, actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf, and Sophia Loren coming in at number 3. Give yourself a point for each of those people you got. That is 9 points going to your team. We get ourselves a shout out coming up next, and shout out is a category that I stole from an old game that we used to do called Flick. and I thought it was a great game, so I went and revisited it. Given a movie and a quote from that movie, I want you to fill in the blank with another movie that they mention in the dialogue of that movie. Oh, did I say the movie too much? I should have used film as well. It would have been as confusing. This is basically someone making reference to an existing movie within the dialogue of another movie. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the movie in which the quote is and the quote, and all you got to tell me is what movie they were referencing in that scene. If you're ready to go, let's get started with number 1. She's All That is the movie. I feel like Julia Roberts in blank. You know, except the whole hooker thing. Number 2 coming in at Shout Out. Clerks 2. I made fun of blank so hard, it made some super geek puke all over the counter. And finally, number 3 in the category of shout out. In the movie Empire Records, somebody says, yesterday you were normal, and today you're like the Chinese guy from blank. What's with you today? What's with today? And there you have it. That is your shout-out category. 3 quotes from movies which refer to or reference another movie. And those are the movies I wanted you to write down on your sheet. Let's see what you came up with. The first one, a lot of them, even if you hadn't seen the movie, you could probably figure it out. Like this one, I feel like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, except, you know, for the whole hooker thing. So that was the quote we were looking for, the movie we were looking for in that quote. Number 2, in Clerks 2, he said, I made fun of Lord of the Rings so bad, I made some super geek puke all over the counter. And finally, at number 3, it has the Karate Kid. Yesterday you were normal, and today you're like the Chinese guy from the Karate Kid. What's with you today? To which Lucas responds, what's with today? And that's your category of shout out. Give yourself a point for each of those that you got correct. And it's looking like we got some pretty good scores over here. Some 3s, some 2s, and some pretty high scores tonight overall. Stick around, of course, after the break for more categories. I've got some pretty awesome games coming up, and I've revisited some older games as well in the second half. We got Quiz On coming up right now, so let's do that, because if we don't keep moving, we'll never make it. Quiz On UFOs. Answer these assorted questions about extraterrestrials. Yes, well, the movie, I'm sorry, I'm taking a look at the chat, and we were like, I don't remember the Chinese guy from Karate Kid, because in fact he was Japanese. But of course, the quote in Empire Records just, it just reflects the type of kind of people that are having this conversation. So let's not take that as any sort of slight. Let's just let's take a look at Empire Records, make sure that quote is exactly like that, and then that might make a little more sense. But you're absolutely right. That's right. Let's take a look at these UFOs at this point. What does the U stand for in UFO? Number 2 in the UFOs quiz. What is the A word for the science of extraterrestrial life in all its forms? And finally, number 3. As seen in the Europa report, Europa has emerged as the most likely location in the solar system for potential habitability. It is a moon of what planet? And before you say anything, yes, I know the Europa report is a fictional movie, but they took that from reality. So Europa has emerged as the most likely location in the solar system for potential habitability. It is the moon of what planet? So there you have it. That's quiz on UFOs. Thank you, random word generator, for just spitting out extraterrestrial. I was like, I think I can do this. I think I can write 3 interesting questions about UFOs or extraterrestrials. Let's see if you thought those were interesting and if that was represented by your correct answers. Number 1, what does the U stand for in UFO? Unidentified flying object. It was a term coined by the U.S. Air Force in a sort of report, and that's when it became official that they wanted to call it unidentified flying objects. The big popular term at the time was flying saucers or flying discs, and they said it's not fair to not include all the other shapes and, you know, make it exclusive to circles and shapes. No, that's what they would say today. Back in the day, they just said, you know, what if it's not a saucer or disc? That doesn't make sense. Number 2, astrobiology. You could have put those together if you're good with words, because we're talking about extraterrestrial life in all its forms. So we have extraterrestrial, and biology, life. And Jupiter, that's right, drops of Jupiter. I mean, moons of Jupiter right here. Europa, the 4th, one of the 4 largest moons of Jupiter. And one that may have perhaps be the closest to having potential for life on its surface. Heading back to the front, and we've got one category left. It's Life on the Chain Gang. After this, as I said, a short break, and we'll return with round number 2. 10 more categories coming at you for Seriously Trivia, followed immediately by the Games Lounge at 10. Join us for a Friday night of fun times. I could probably rewrite that to make it more interesting. All right, guys, it's Life on the Chain Gang coming up right now. Okay, write that down, okay? Yeah, the thing. Like, don't say that joke again. Yeah, come up with interesting stuff before I start talking to the mic. Yeah, I thought that was your job. Why do I have a producer, guys? Why do I even have a producer? Okay, Life on the Chain Gang is here. We've got ourselves 3 chain gangs coming at you. In the next 3 boxes, I will give you 5 words. The 3 in the middle contain blanks, and those are the ones you have to figure out. The trick is that you can use each word with the next one to form a common expression or saying. For example, here we've got chain gang, gang leader, leaderboard, and board game. You're gonna have to do that 3 times in each box, so 9 possible points going to your team if you're able to get them all. Let's take a look at your first one coming up right now. Number 2. And finally, number 3 in your chain gang puzzles. And that is your life on the chain gang. 9 possible points if you're able to get all of the 9 words that had dashes in them. You guys were talking about alienology, so I decided to take the time while you were looking that up to look this up. And other than an entry from Urban Dictionary and a very vague definition from Wiktionary, I've got nothing proving that alienology is a thing. So I'm sorry, as much as 3 of you came up with this somehow. I guess putting alien and ology together, good effort. But no, I'm not gonna be able to, not gonna be able to do it. Let's take a look at life on the chain gang coming up. Here are your answers coming up right now. It is now, because if you all agree that this is a new rule too, under this rule, then that rule becomes a rule, right? So we have backlight, light up, updraft, and draft beer. That's right. Backlight, light up, updraft, and draft beer. Then we had beer can do, do not, and not right. Like, that's not right, man. That's just not right. And last but not least, we had right way, wayfair, fair play, and play back. Why don't you take a second to appreciate that right there? It's a beautiful thing. This is one of those. Somebody one time said, Francois, what you do is art. And I was like, yeah, it is. This is a perfect example of it. Allow me to revel in my greatness. And there you have it, everybody. That is round number 1 for tonight's Seriously Trivia. I've got your 10 categories there. Your scores are starting to come through. And it looks like we've got a lot of 9s, some 7s, some 8s. And it looks like the total score is out of 49 at this point. 49. I could have forced myself and made it an even 50. Right? Right? Am I right or am I right? I am parched. I finished my beer 4 categories ago. I've literally been sucking the drops from the can. So I'm gonna go to the fridge. I'm gonna get something whoa, it's gonna be a fun games lounge. I'm gonna go get myself a beer, and I recommend you do the same. Come on back though, because I've got a whole other 10 games ready to go. We're gonna have some fun, and it continues right here on Mack Flash. See you soon. there you have it. Welcome back, everybody. Got a little dance to go with that and everything. Yeah. Why not? Why not? Dancing interludes. I like the fact that I got rid of the chair. Oh, chair. Ta-da. Now you get full standing Francois. That's right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. What do you mean? You guys can't hear the music? I really hope you guys can hear the music, because that dance would have looked really ridiculous without it. Yeah, without the music, it looked ridiculous, Francois. That's what made it ridiculous. All right, everybody. Welcome back. It is Seriously Trivia. We are here. My name is Francois. I push the wrong buttons sometimes. It happens. It happens. But we're all here. We're all having fun. We got, it is very healthy. Thank you. You guys are great. I love the time that we have together, and I thank you very much for joining me online and in person, wherever it may be, upon your comfort level, of course. And I will continue to try to do my best to cater to both in the means that I can do. Make sure you do check out all the other shows that we've got on the channel, including the Mack Flash 5, which now it's incredible. You remove one person, suddenly the show is half the length. I get the feeling maybe I was responsible for a lot of chit chat in that show. But do check out the Mack Flash 5, where now they are discussing again their top 5 movies of given categories, and it is amazing. I will be popping on there once in a while, of course, when I see a topic on the list that makes me go, oh yes. And we do still have the quizzes that go along with them, and all of that happens on Tuesdays right here on the Mack Flash channel. So don't forget to subscribe if you have not done so yet. Let's get going with tonight's game. You know what to do. Get yourself something to write with and on, such as a notepad or a pen, notepad and pen, or a board and marker. We're going to be doing 10 categories here, a mix of puzzle and trivia. As you pick the categories in the chat, I will pull them up and we will play them. There will be 3 questions in there for about 20 to 25 seconds each. You write down the answers on your board or notepad discreetly, because immediately after, it's answer time, and I will give you the answers to those questions. You'll be able to mark yourselves and share your score in the chat, and let us know how well you did. Don't forget to tally that score for the end. Our first round was out of 49, and I saw some pretty nice scores going by. So let's see if we can keep that going in game number 2 of Seriously Trivia right here on the Mack Flash YouTube channel. Oh my gosh. It's a lot. I'm out of shape. I can't even do the intro now. It's crazy. It's crazy. I think I'm dehydrated. That's what it is. Let's keep going here. We got Seriously Trivia coming at you right now, and the categories go like this for game numéro 2. Former and ladder coming up right now. We've got Selfie TV at number 2. It's Mystery Bus. We've got Songs in the Key of. We've got Missing Pieces is back. I just went trigger happy on there, and quiz on, and these 3 words are coming up here. We got Brad Libs at number 8. There they are. Rare Birds coming in at number 9. I like this game because it's a challenge to write. And less is more. Something that I know of, I understand, but refuse to obey. Let's take a look at your... Hey, that's my choice, all right? It's my prerogative. Yeah, my prerogative. That's how. Give me some categories, everybody. Let's see where we go here. It's going to start off at the top here with a little bit of rebus happening. We got some rebus happening over here in this court. And then we got songs. For AB, we got selfie happening right here. We've got, 3 words. We got rare birds. We got rare birds, and then we got less is more. Okay, we'll go with that, and then we'll carry on, after which we'll need another few categories to finish off the game. But let's get it started right now with your first one, starting off with a nice puzzle category. I love that. It's a little mystery bus or a Mr. Rebus. These are all rebus puzzles. They're visual representation of common expressions or sayings. For example, here we've got the number 4 inside the word film. Therefore, we have 4 in film. 4 in film. Ah, I see that. Let's take a look at... Oops, hey, wrong button. Let's take a look at your first one. Number 2 in the mystery bus category, Mr. Rebus. Dead subject, dead verb, dead object. That's the first time I've ever read a Rebus puzzle. And finally, number 3, your third Rebus puzzle of the night. It goes like this. There you go. That's your Rebus category. 3 Rebus puzzle coming at you. All visual representations of common expressions or sayings. Let's see if you were able to figure out those 3 Rebus puzzles. The first one, pretty sure everybody got that one. It was knock on wood. That's right. The word knock was atop 3 types of wood or trees. We've got ourselves death sentence, dead subject, dead verb, dead object. That's a death sentence for me. And last but not least, we've got equal rights. Both of those arrows were pointing right. Reverse camera. And they were equal. So equal rights. Give yourself a point if you're able to figure all those out. And the scores are coming in the chat right now with a couple of 2s, some 1s, some a little 2.5 over here. I don't know how that can happen in a Rebus puzzle. I mean, you get it or you don't, but you might have been close on something. Who knows? Who knows? Let's take a look at your next one. It is songs in the key of, and it's songs in the key of driving. All of these questions will have to do somehow with cars or driving. Let's take a look at your first one. What popular song by Bruce Springsteen was released as the B-side to Dancing in the Dark in 1984 and famously covered by Natalie Cole in 1987? Number 2, what band's 2007 music video for Dashboard features the lead singer as a sea captain recounting a seafaring story? And finally, number 3, songs in the key of driving, something to do with cars or driving. According to the band War, what real goer is a little higher but drives a little slower? And that is your, those are your songs in the key of driving, related to driving or cars or something like that. Let's take a look at the answers coming up for those. And we were looking for the following. Number 1, it was Pink Cadillac. I don't know if you ever looked up what Pink Cadillac is about. I would. How do I put this mildly without getting into details? Remember the conversation we had about kangaroos? Yeah, something like that. Let's take a look at number 2. We were talking about Modest Mouse. Quite an interesting video. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I did watch a good chunk of it, but you know, I had to carry on with some work. But yes, Modest Mouse Dashboard. And last but not least, songs in the key of Cars. We had Low Rider. She's a little goer, drives a little slower. There you have it. Give yourself a point for each of these. Pink Cadillac, Modest Mouse, Low Rider. And the scores are all over the place here, recording some scores from 0 to 3 pretty much evenly. Quite an impressive category when it comes to songs about cars or driving. Let's head over to Selfie TV, a category I came up with today that I thought would be very, very interesting. In fact, when it comes to television shows, these are all television shows where actors play... And it's the shot of the night! I completely forgot it was the shot of the night. Okay, this is how you know I forgot it was the shot of the night. My booze is still chilling in the chill chest right now. Chill chest. Who am I? Alton Brown? I tell you what, if you did it, get yourself your shot. I'm gonna run over to the freezer right over here and get mine. Like that. Hey guys, it's the shot of the night. You guys get that? It's the shot of... Oh, there you go. It's the shot of the night, everybody. Oh, have you seen these? You seen these beautiful shot glasses? Mack Flash official Mack Flash shot glasses. Could be yours. On sale now. Contact me for details. And then you too can do one of these. The shot of the night. You can do a shot of the night anyway, whether you have a Mack Flash shot glass or not, because it's just a question of coming together in this way that we are in a world socially distant and yet brought together by the beauty of this game. And so just for that, I want to thank you all for being here. This one goes out to the 3 Must Get Beers. Sponsorship, coming out to the live events, buying some shot glasses, just being here since the beginning and just sticking around, being such nice people. You know what? Thank you so much. This one goes out to the 3 Must Get Beers and to all of your health. Cheers, everybody. Yes, I'm glad I chilled that before. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Yeah. We got ourselves, which category is it? Selfie TV, that's right. These are all assorted questions about shows where people play exaggerated versions of themselves. We had one of them that we talked about last week, I believe, and I tried not to include it because it is fresh in our memory. But let's take a look at the ones I was able to come up with. 3 questions about shows where people play exaggerated versions of themselves. Number 1. This popular show even included a story arc towards the end of the series where the characters pitch a TV show much like the one they're in. Number 2, featuring Warwick Davis alongside Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, this show portrays the celebrated actor as an egotistical jerk with literal small man syndrome. And finally, in Selfie TV, on what Showtime series do we see Matt LeBlanc play himself navigating a post-Friends career? And that's how you play Selfie TV, all about television shows where people play exaggerated versions of themselves. I love the concept. I think it's always really great, and it often ends up being hilarious because it's watching someone try to play a version of themselves and then hopefully not have people just assume that's how you are in real life. Let's take a look at those answers for Selfie TV. 3 television shows is what I was looking for pretty much. Number 1, we were talking about, of course, Seinfeld. The one that it didn't, as I read today, it didn't necessarily invent the concept of self-referential humor, but definitely perfected it and made it very, very popular. Number 2, we have Life's Too Short. If you have not seen it, I do recommend, I highly recommend watching this series. It is ridiculous. It is hilarious, slightly offensive, but in a way that everyone's in on the joke, so it's fine and it's funny and it's great like that. And so many great guest appearances, like Liam Neeson trying to get into stand-up comedy. Anyway, you have to watch the show. It's really good. Number 2, we have Episodes. That's also another great show. I never finished it, and I really can't wait to start it over. But Episodes, great show where Matt LeBlanc gets cast as this part in they're remaking a show from Britain, for the American crowd, and it's basically a good show at how television shows work and stuff. So anyway, these are your 3 shows, Selfie TV, and I can now claim that this show is a television/movie review show because I do this every time I give you the answers. We were talking as well, like that's funny because the guest stars on the Ricky Gervais shows are always one of the best parts. Especially we talked about extras last week on one of the episodes. I forget which one, but and that show, once again, if anybody went out and watched it, let me know because it's a great show and the guest stars really do great because they all play a version of themselves, but really like extremely exaggerated one way or another. So Dan Radcliffe's character, just so good. All right, let's get on to these 3 words, your next category for this game. I'm just gonna ramble on about stuff I like now. I'm in that mood. Oh my god, it's gonna be a great night. I'm already having a fun time. I hope you guys are as well, and thank you very much again for joining us right now, and don't forget to join us at Games Lounge / Robes Lounge later on tonight on this channel. I'll share the link in here, and let's get going with these 3 words. The answers to the 3 hints here have a word in common. Remember how we played this last week, and I said, okay, so I'm going to give you 3 hints. Each of them are going to lead you to an expression or a saying, and those 3 sayings are going to have a word in common, and all you had to do was write the common word. But I think we all pretty much agreed that this category did merit a few more points, whereas I should have you just simply write down the 3 expressions, forgetting the word in common, but knowing that they have a word in common. So this is a 9-pointer is what I'm getting at right now. The answers to the 3 hints have a word in common, so that should be your hint that you've got the correct answer for each of these hints. There are 3 hints in each box, and it goes a little bit something like this. Write down each saying or expression, not just the common word, for right here. Senior citizenship, King Midas's asset/curse, and an expression meaning hit songs of yesteryear. These 3 hints lead to expressions that have a word in common. Write down the 3 expressions. Once again, write down each saying or expression for each hint in this box. And don't forget that these next 3 also share a word in common. When the water recedes, an offer below asking price, and don't attract attention. And finally, this last trio of hints lead to expressions that all share a word in common. I guess that's what sharing is, having it in common. Very redundant. Not store-bought, the last leg of a race, and where you were born. That's your category. That's your these three words, and this time it's worth 9 points. Last time all you had to do was give me the word in common for each trio, which means 3 points. But now I wanted you to actually write down these definitions, and that's 9 possible points going to your team. If you were able to figure them out, let's take a look at those answers, shall we? Number 1, these 3 words. Golden Years, Senior Citizenship, Golden Touch, King Midas, and the Golden Oldies for songs of yesteryear. They all had golden in common, but you had to write down each expression, which means give yourself a point for each one of those you wrote down. Number 2 had the word low in common. Low tide, when the water recedes. Low ball, to offer less money than asking price and keep a low profile. Do not attract attention. Low. Give yourself a point for each expression you got correct here. You should be up to 6 on your sheet. I have faith in you. And finally, last one contained the word home, homemade, home stretch, the last leg of a race, and where you were born is your hometown. 9 possible points. If you wrote down all of these on your sheet, you are quite amazing. I'll give you low key. Oh, I'll give you low key. 100%, Carl. Yeah, low key. Good one. Keep it. Do not attract attention. Be low key. You know what I mean? Hey, man, be low key. I like it. Plus, it's like kids, they use low key all the time now. It's like an expression now. We're going to have to start using it so they stop. That's how it works. Homeland. We got rare birds coming up right now. It's one of my favorite categories, only because, as I said before, it is tough to write. Although I did find a way or a place to research said things. These are all going to be questions about rare or limited occurrences. You know, it's going to be one of those things where, well, you know what? I don't think I have to explain it more. There are 3 questions here. That's 4. Luckily, the screen was hiding my 4th finger and I didn't look like an idiot. 3. There you go. We got 3 questions right here. Let's take a look at question number 1. There are only 3 countries that start with the letter J. Name them. You'll get 1 point each. Luckily. Number 2. Eunoia refers to a feeling of goodwill, especially between a speaker and an audience. What is special about the word itself? Not the word quote unquote itself, but the word eunoia. And finally, there are only 5 actors who have won the Best Director Oscar. Clint Eastwood, Woody Allen, Robert Redford, Kevin Costner, and what currently active actor? And those are your rare birds for tonight. All sorts of rare occurrences in any sort of form I was able to discover. This one looking like 5 points. We got 3 in the first one, and then a point for each subsequent question. Let's take a look at those rare birds coming up right now. First one, we're talking about the 3 countries in the world that start with the letter J. For each one you got correct, give yourself a point. We're talking about Jamaica, Japan, and Jordan. These are the 3 J countries of the world. A point each for whichever ones you got. Number 2, we're talking about the shortest word that has all the vowels. That's right, it is the shortest word with all the vowels. Now, some of you are going to get on me and be like, no, that's facetious. No, okay, that is one of the words that has all of the vowels in order, A-E-I-O-U. This is the shortest word. It is a 6-letter word that contains every vowel, A-E-I-O-U, not in order, but they're in there with the letter N to, make it work. There's also a shorter one. It is a kind of sponge. And it contains nothing but vowels, but it is a proper name. So there you have it. Unoya, something I hope that we have. Look it up. It's great. It made me feel all warm inside. Mel Gibson does not make you feel warm inside. Well, it all depends on what your beliefs are, I guess, but or what movie you're writing, but or watching. But Mel Gibson is the 5th actor and the most recent actor to win a Best Director Oscar. Give yourself a point for each of those, which means 5 possible points coming at you right now. Jamaica, Japan, and Jordan were a point each, and then you got the shortest word, and then you got Mel Gibson. That is out of 5 points. We got ourselves less is more coming. Is Mel Gibson active? I was gonna yes, Jay. Okay, I debated writing that or not, but I got to say, like, I think I get the feeling he's been in a movie in the last 5 years. I feel like he's been in a movie in the last 5 years, maybe 10 years. He's definitely. I was gonna say he's more active than the other 4, but Clint Eastwood probably was in a movie more recently than Mel Gibson was, I'm assuming. So yeah, this is all speculation right now, but I'm gonna go ahead with active. I think people would still hire him. Yeah, why not? Let's take a look at your next category, less is more. After that, we're going to be doing our Brad Libs, and then it's up to you guys which categories we're going to be doing. Less is more goes like this. It is your picture category, and it is minimalist movie posters. I think this is a favorite category of a lot of people. A lot of people like the movie trivia, of course, and when it comes to pictures, this is a great one. I'm going to show you 5 minimalist movie posters that have been interpreted by artists to include sort of the essence or an element of the movie, which really speaks to you and lets you know, oh, I know what movie this is. We've got 5 of them coming up right now on the next screen, and it starts, of course, with number 1. Once again, name the movie for each of these minimalist posters. I've cut out the titles, but perhaps left in other information that could help you out. And there you have it, my friends. That is Less is More. While you were doing that, I decided to take it upon myself and look it up. The last movie that Mel Gibson did, well, one of the last ones would be The Expendables 3 in 2014, followed by a movie called Bloodfather in 2016, and then a few more since 2010. So for me, my assumption that he was active in the last 10 years is pretty good, and therefore I think I'm gonna back that up with I'm comfortable with that. Let's take a look though at these movies that we were talking about right here in the picture round. We're talking about Less is More, some movies that were minimalist and represented a certain movie. Let's take a look at the posters were minimalist, the movies not quite. The movies were, in fact, these. We have 12 Angry Men in there. I absolutely love that poster. If 12 Angry Men is going to get remade, which is inevitable, that should be the poster for it. We've got ourselves Fight Club coming in at number dos, of course, and we had number 3, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. You had to be specific. The Chalice was definitely in the poster. We had Superman. Wow, how minimalist can you get? This artist actually did a whole series that were basically based on straight lines. All it was straight lines of color on backgrounds of color, trying to convey, and he made 13 or so of them, and all of them just great. This was the one that I really liked. And we had Good Morning Vietnam, your last one. I don't know if you could tell that silhouette resembled Robin Williams with an army helicopter coming out of his mouth. So give yourself a point for each of those. And share your score, of course, in the chat. Looking for 5 scores. We got some 5s, some 3s, some 2s, some 1s, some 2s. I tried a new way of doing the show today just so that I wouldn't... you know, sometimes the show gets harder in round 2, and I think, well, is it because I write round 1 and then I write round 2, and perhaps I get tired, and round 2 is just me rushing through it. So I wrote both rounds simultaneously today. I went 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. So these should be pretty much evenly spread, especially that you're picking the categories very randomly. So it's not like you're picking the easy ones first and the hard ones last. So let's see how this goes with our next category. Brad Libs again. I was gonna skip it. I was gonna not do it. Not gonna do it. No, I wasn't gonna do it, but I thought, man, you guys like it a lot, and I like you a lot, so let's do it. Some Brad Libs, baby. These are Jack Nicholson Brad Libs. For those of you who have not played Brad Libs before, this is how it works. I'm going to give you a sentence with blanks. If you deconstruct or take apart each word of a movie title, you should be able to fill them into those blanks and make the sentence make sense within its context. In this case, the game is called Brad Libs because it was created with Brad Pitt movies in mind. So for example, here we've got soldiers go to war with machine guns. War machine. In this case, we're gonna be doing the same thing, but with Jack Nicholson movies coming up. Let's take a look at these. It would be prudent. Never skip the Brad Libs according to the chat, because it might just take an ugly turn. Let's take a look at these Brad Pitts, these Brad Libs, Jack Nicholson movies. When he was blank years old, puzzles were blank with such large blank. Number 2, blank man of blank words, he was always blank to the blank in his care. And finally, number 3, in Brad Libs, Jack Nicholson, Blank spooky here. I blank find out more, even though it'll blank me nightmares. I'm gonna be out of breath for the next 2 questions now. Sorry about that. That was a terrible idea. Bad choice. Well, hopefully you guys made the right choice and picked the correct Jack Nicholson movies to fit within the context of these sentences. Let's see if you're able to do so. In Brad Lives, the answers. Yes, better than the sequel. Number 1, we were saying 5 easy pieces. When he was 5 years old, puzzles were easy with such large pieces. 5 easy pieces. Number 2, A Few Good Men. I forget the sentence now. Can't even recall it. Something, few and as good as men. Right? Am I not right? That totally fits. Totally fits. We've got Something's Gotta Give. Something spooky. I gotta find out more, even if it'll give me nightmares. See, I remembered that one. Give yourself a point for each of these Jack Nicholson movies you were able to get, and see if that gets you somewhere in your score. Guess what, everybody? I am out of stuff. The last thing I had written down was Bradley. So, unless you want me to pick something, you've got Quiz On, Missing Pieces, and of course the big one, Former and a Ladder. That's 9 points coming at you right there if you were able to get that one. We got Missing Pieces, the Three Must Get Beers, calling it right now. I love that one. We're got Missing Pieces, and then it's going to be Quiz On. Oh no, then it's got Missing. Well, no wait. Hackers with Quiz came in first. Oh, I almost didn't look up high enough. And if I know something about high enough. Let's take a look at Quiz On first, then it's Missing Pieces. We're gonna finish it off with the big one of the night. It's Former and the Ladder. 9 points coming at you. In Quiz On, acid. Because why not? Why not? We had a Quiz on Pots last week, so we got Quiz on Acid this week. Let's take a look at these 3 questions all about acid. When it comes to LSD, what is the more common term for hallucinogen persisting perception disorder, which can happen years after use? Yes, Dave Peel, yes. Are they questions on acid? Like, you know how we have the shot of the night? Well, this is it, everybody. Drop that micro dot or the paper or whatever you want to do. I don't know. How do the kids do it these days? I don't know how it is. Like, it was like, there's still little papers with pictures on them and stuff. They look like temporary tattoos. I don't know. Really out of touch. Let's take your next one. Acid Lounge. Oh, it's Quiz on Acid. Quiz on Acid question 2. All right. What type of acid is vinegar made from? And finally, your last question about acid. If a solution is considered to be acid, does it have a pH of more or less than 7.0? And that's quiz on acid for you. 3 questions related to acid, and not to anger the folks. Of course, 1 question actually about the acid you were expecting. Yeah, that's right. Let's take a look at your next, your answers coming up for that. It is like this. Number 1, when we're talking about acid, that disorder is actually a purely clinical word for acid flashbacks. Flashbacks is the word I was looking for. If you wrote down acid flashbacks, of course, that makes sense. Number 2, we had acetic acid. Acetic acid is at least 4%. It's a 4% dilution. So believe it or not, the vinegar that you are eating is only about 4 to 10% acetic acid. I don't even know if it's 10. I think it's even less than that. And next on that list, we have got less than 7.0. The pH, as long as if it drops under 7, it's an acid. If it goes over 7 up to 14, it is an alkali or base. Give yourself base. How low can you go? Less than 7.0. What a brother know. Give yourself a point for each of those that you got correct. And I see your scores coming in with a lot of 3 out of 3, and I absolutely love that. 2 categories left. We got missing pieces coming up, followed by former and the latter, followed by the Games Lounge. That's right. Join us in the Games Lounge at 10 o'clock in about 20 minutes, where we will be just relaxing, just chilling. But how do we chill? Well, we play games. But we play games that we didn't write, which makes it easy. Now, at that point, we're like, yeah, obviously the Mack Flash team likes to play games, and we write a lot of games, and we write all these quizzes. But how do we chill? Well, we play more games. That's right, but we play them with each other. In the Games Lounge, we all bring together, we all get together, and we all bring 1 card from a different board game, and each of us takes turns hosting it for each other and for you. And now, including the Robes Lounge round, or the Robes Lounge, you might be part of the show as well. Whoever's in the chat, you might get called upon to present a question in the last round. If you are willing to do so, make sure you have a card from a board game in your hands at the time of the show, and we'll be able to call upon you for that question. I love this stuff that's going on over here in the chat. I can't wait to catch up to it, but let's get on going on with missing pieces. A game I absolutely adore, but you know, I haven't brought back in a while. For each nearly complete list, given the theme, I want you to tell me what the missing item is on that list. Let's take a look at question number 1. Earth's oceans, there's 1 missing. Pacific, Atlantic, Arctic, Indian. Is it acetic acid? It looks like it should be acetic acid. I figure it's acetic acid. I'm sorry, I'm just catching up to the chat right now. Somebody's questioning my pronunciation of acetic acid. Acetic acid? Doesn't make any sense. English language is weird. Let's take a look at your next missing pieces. Location of the wonders of the ancient world. Giza, Babylon, Olympia, Ephesus, Halicarnassus, Alexandria, and where? The locations of the wonders of the ancient world. And last but not least, this one going out to the musicians. Neil. This one's for Neil. STD guitar tuning. Oh, I mean standard guitar tuning. E, A, D, G, B. 1 string is missing. Standard tuning of a guitar. The difference is that the STD guitar was probably not played with a pick. I bet you it was fingered. All right, well, there you have it. Those are your missing pieces right here. We were looking for the missing item for each link. Let's take a look at your answers coming up right now for missing pieces. If I can retain myself from exploding in laughter. It was terrible. It was pretty terrible, but I think I'm really proud of it. The first one, we're looking for the Southern Ocean or the Antarctic. You say the C? I don't. Hey, do I say the first C? I don't say the first C. Thank you. The Southern or Antarctic Ocean. Either are correct. Number 2, we've got Rhodes. Rhodes is the location of the final wonder of the ancient world, the Colossus of Rhodes. And finally, we have E. That's right, again, E. The top and bottom string are tuned to an E. There you have it. Give yourself a point for each of those missing items. And let's head back to the menu because we got one more game to go, and then I got stuff to do before Games Lounge. We gotta get it together. I gotta get it together. Get it together. See what's happening. We got some scores coming in right now, and ooh, that was a tougher round, except for Team Vader. 3 out of 3. Good job. Former and the Ladder coming up right now. It's your last game of the night. Thank you so much for being part of Seriously Trivia. Don't forget to keep an eye on all the stuff that we are doing by, of course, subscribing to our Facebook page, Mack Flash Entertainment. You can follow us on Instagram as well, where I try to post as much as possible. But that one, it tends to get a little silly. You're going to give me a camera? Ugh, I don't know if that's a good idea, Instagram. All right, whatever. And you can, of course, subscribe to the channel right here on YouTube to find out all the latest quizzes that are being released. Quizzes and podcasts and whatever is coming up next in the new season. It is September now, so wake me up when September ends, because I'll be in my office getting a lot of trivia ready for you during the month of September. All right, here comes Former and the Ladder. That thing devolved. That devolved to a point where I'm glad to be ending with this game right here. Former and the Ladder. In each box, I'm going to give you 3 hints, the answers to which are 1 letter off from each other. For example, dead, deer, rear. You know how this works. All you have to do is write down the 3 answers for each of these boxes. 9 points going to you if you are able to solve this. You guys do this. I'm going to read your comments in the chat. Number 1, Former and the Ladder. It's a 4-letter word. There are 6 in this sentence. The clothes she had on before, and not less. All right, the next one, in Former and the Ladder, we're looking for a 5-letter word. A small sharp poke. Painful stiff feeling, especially in the neck. And a vulnerable point or a flaw. And finally, number 3, in Former and the Ladder. It's a 4-letter word. First one, where the money is. Number 2, nonsense or a type of bed. Number 3, musical lifestyle born in the 70s. Remember, all of these answers are 1 letter off from each other. I'm so pumped that we have merged Studio A and Studio B right here at Mack Flash Studios. I am able to do so much more, and I can't wait to show it off to those of you who have not been here already. Come and join us at the Games Lounge, please. We have a great time. It's been, every time has been even better and even better, and I can't wait to see you all again in this Games Lounge later on tonight. But first, let's take a look at your final answers for this final game of the night. Former and latter, 9 possible points coming at you. Each word one letter off from the other. First one, we're talking about there are 6 in the sentence words. The clothes that she wore yesterday, she wore them, or that she had on yesterday, she wore. And not less, it is more. And there you have it. Give yourself a point for each of those. Number 2, I forgot to update the answers, but it should be tort, a small pie. It should be from, that's not even the answers. Those aren't even the answers. Those, okay, you want to know what this one was going to be? It was going to be small pies from a flute or your butt. Yeah, that's what it was going to be. And then it was like, when a horse briskly walks, he trots. Yeah, that's what it was going to be. But then I realized, screw that. These are all plurals, and I hate them. And I don't like these. I don't like the former and latters that ends in S's because it's cheap. It's not a 5-letter word. It's a 4-letter word with an S on it. So somebody please remind me. Let's take a look. It's my job. It's my job, and we're going to do it right. A small, sharp poke is a prick. Prick, P-R-I-C-K. A painful, stiff feeling, especially in the neck, is a crick. C-R-I-C-K. And a vulnerable point or a flaw is a crack. So much for this game being without mistakes. Did you notice I almost made it to the end? But no, save the best for last, my friends. So there you go. Prick, crick, and crack. And last but not least, we have where the money is, your bank. What is false, or also a type of bed, bunk. And a musical lifestyle born in the 70s, punk. Prick, crick, and crack. Thank you, Mike, for putting it in the chat for me. I was just about to go type that down, and I'm glad that you took care of that for me. I appreciate it very, very much. No, not funk. Funk is not a lifestyle. I would not accept it. Punk is a lifestyle. No one is like, that guy lives the funk lifestyle over here. Look at this guy. Pretty sure. And that's why I included the word lifestyle specifically, because I do mean the punk movement. Funk is a good one, good idea, but I don't think you can describe a funk lifestyle. And my gosh almighty, that's it. I can't believe it's already over. Love the funk life. Gotta have that funk life. Gotta have that funk life. Oh my God, it's time for Games Lounge. I'm so happy. Oh my God, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I wish I had a really funky song I could play right now on Spotify. Well, that's it, my friends. This is Seriously Trivia for you. Let your score shine at 46 for this one, which, if my mind serves me correctly, that would make the entire game out of 95 points. Thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Francois. I've been your host. My face is here. It's over there. It's on my shirt. Can you forget where you are? There's no way. If this is not properly branded, I don't know what is. Hashtag Mack Flash Trivia. Thank you so much for being here. You know what? I'm gonna put the screen up, and because it's awkward to be doing stuff on the computer at the same time, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna find the link to tonight's Games Lounge. Of course, if you exit out of this and you go to the front page of our channel, you will definitely find it right away. But it is convenient to have it right here for you. So it would be a good idea for me to just do this, put it right here for you. Shablambo, there it is. And look at these scores. You guys are really, really good. You guys are really, really good. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. My name is Francois. I have been your host. This has been Seriously Trivia. I will see you in the Games Lounge in just about 7 minutes. Do I have enough time to get ready? I think I do. We'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.